It is December. It's time for our power rankings. We're starting to see who's the real deal James Neal and who are the Fugazis and everything else in between. So let's rank the top 10 teams in the NHL as of today. But of course, before we do something crazy like that, we got to talk about who's in Bettman's basement for the month of December. And right now, it is the Nashville Predators. Listen, these guys have been a disaster. You got guys like Ryan O'Reilly chirping himself in the media saying he's only ever had one good year. There's been reports that the organization is toxic from the top down, and being dead last in the NHL is not helping a single thing. The puzzling thing, though, with the Preds is that they have good pieces like O'Reilly, Stamkos, Forsberg, Marchessault, Yossi, and Saros. That's a damn good group of players, but right now they look old, slow, and struggle to defend. Barry Trotz went to the casino. That was free agency, put it all on black, and lost with this group. Despite him calling out the boys a few times, it seems like this group and mix in particular is just not a good fit. That means we'll likely see them selling the farm come deadline time, and considering some of their pieces, they could get some decent return. But as of now, they're buried in Bettman's basement with the war paint on for the tank job to get the first overall pick. My suggestion is that they plan one more trip to catch a U2 concert at the Sphere, get shit-faced, and see if things turn around. If they don't, well, then they're screwed and they can continue with the rebuild. Now, coming in at number 10, we got the Philadelphia Flyers. What the hell are these guys doing here? Yeah, I'm asking myself the same question. They're supposed to be off on a great note. One guy I'm going to highlight is Trevor Zegras. He's a point-per-game player. He's leading the Flyers in scoring right now, and he's come over as the player he was originally advertised to be when he got drafted in Anaheim. The last few years, skill has been an issue for Philly, but Zegras coming in brings a lot of it. However, what is still important is that he's doing it within the confines of new head coach Rick Tocchet's system and utilizing that skill in areas to break the game open. I love this play here on the half wall that shows how the skill of Zegras can open things up for Philly. First, Zegras on the double team. The biggest improvement has been team defense, though. Philly was a bottom 5 team in the NHL last year in terms of goals against. This year, they are just outside the top 10 in terms of goals against, but they're much better at creating these neutral zone turnovers or turnovers just inside their defensive blue line to create a rush chance for themselves going the other way. Again, a player like Zegras helps them convert on these chances more frequently, but overall, offense still needs to improve as they're in the bottom third of the league in that category. Of course, whether all this is sustainable is still the question. They are getting some solid goaltending from Dan the Darth Vladar, which will help any team, but we will see how the season progresses here and how this team will either sink or swim. For now, though, Philly fans can enjoy being in the top 10. Now, coming in at number 9, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yup, Sid the middle-aged man and the fellas are still here come December. A red-hot start that has somewhat slowed and regressed predictably, but the Penguins are still playing winning hockey. Of course, Crosby is leading from the front. This guy is becoming a goal scorer in his old age. He's third in the NHL in goals with 18, and if you look at the heat map of where he scored his goals, it's as predictable as ever. Almost all of them have come within 5 to 10 feet of the net. His entire career, it's been the same story. He is the definition of a superstar grinder that gets into the greasy areas to make things happen. The other area where Pittsburgh has had success is on the power play. It is number 1 in the league. Structurally, they usually run the standard 1-3-1, but what makes them so deadly is they aren't married to any one formation and they use movement based on what the killers are giving them. Here's a great example. This puck is at the point and you see that there's no Penguin in the bumper spot here. It's almost like a traditional 2-3 formation at this exact point. But as the puck is moved into the middle by Karlsson, everyone starts to rotate. Russ swings high on the flank, while Sid on the other flank starts to swing low. With this movement, they're setting up a potential down low to bumper pass or a down low and across to Sid. As Russ gets possession, Malkin is going to swing into the bumper spot. The PK gets hyper-focused on him, and that leaves Sid the middle-aged man wide open. Thanks for the tuck. The best power plays in the league are flexible in their approach and have great puck movement. The Penguins are all of that, and it shows with them having the best PP in the league. Don't say that one out loud. People will be waiting all season long for the other shoe to drop on this team, but damn it, we deserve to see Sid in at least one more playoff run. Now, coming in at number 8, it is the New Jersey Devils. They've managed to stay in the top 10 here despite some major setbacks. Their special teams has picked up right from where it's left off last season, as they currently have a top 10 power play and PK in the NHL. But it would be impossible to talk about the Devils without bringing up the elephant in the room. injuries. In the most Jack Hughes way possible, he gets taken out for 8 weeks after injuring his hand at a dinner party. That's it for me. There's no more sharp things allowed near Jackie Boy in the near future. This does hurt the Devils quite a bit offensively with Hughes, as they can outpossess most teams in the O-zone with this 2-3 structure, especially with the synergy between Hughes and Bratt. But as expected, anytime you take a top 10 offensive player out of the lineup, there will be struggles. Injuries have also reached them defensively too. Dougie Hamilton has missed some time this season, Brett Pesce has missed some time as well, and Jake Allen had to take over full-time while Markstrom was injured. The Devils are a resilient team, though, that has maintained strong play despite key injuries. The Devils' play has slipped without Hughes, but I have no doubts they will remain as one of the top teams once he comes back. Now, coming in at number 7, we got the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks look like they're for real, and I absolutely love it. Their high-flying offense, that is second in the league in terms of goals for per game, has propelled them to the top of the Pacific. They're a very young team, and what usually comes with youth is skill and speed. The Ducks are one of the fastest teams in the NHL. We've talked about it before, but their speed in all positions allows them to frequently get a numbers advantage while heading up ice with the D jumping up in the play. Think Colorado in terms of play style, pushing the pace, and wanting to use their skill to dictate the game. They've also become one of the better net front teams in the NHL. That's what happens when you acquire Chris Kreider. They're among the top teams in the league in terms of goals scored off rebounds. But of course, with a team that is willing to take chances to make plays, there will be chances against. The Ducks allow more medium and high danger shots than what they generate themselves. And if you watched Utah put up a touchdown against them the other night, this young core still has strides to make when learning how to defend as a 5-man unit. Their goaltending and Lucas Dostal and Peter Mrazek have covered up some of the ugliness, but with both of them being hurt, the flaws are starting to appear. So unless Ville Husso can turn into prime Greg Goldberg and hold down the fort, it could impact them greatly moving forward. Coming in at number 6, we got the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes are excellent at being consistent. Year in and year out, you best believe they're leading the league in shot differential per game. They're dominating possession, and that is nothing new for them. They're also second in expected goals percentage and second in takeaways, in large part due to their relentless forecheck and puck pursuit. They smother teams, and it's why they control the pace of almost every single game they play. However, it is still the same old story for the Hurricanes and the same question marks. This is a team that has had depth in just about every area and has thrived under Rod Brind'Amour's system. But the big question mark will be the playoffs and if their goaltending and special teams can get them over that hump. They currently have the 30th ranked power play in the league, which is partly due to their lack of a true bona fide superstar triggerman and somewhat of a predictable execution. An encouraging factor, though, for the Hurricanes is that they've had success despite facing significant injuries, especially on the blue line. They've been missing one of the best defensemen in the world in Jacob Slavin, and they've still had the success. They're going to stay in the top 10 all year probably, but no one cares until they do it when it matters the most come April. Now, coming in at number 5, we got the Minnesota Wild. If you told me after last power rankings that the Wild would be in the top 5, I would have called you nuts. Yet, a recent 7-game win streak has completely turned around the season. The Wild have had success from their usual suspects like the Karelian Air and Matt Boldy. That's nothing new. However, the biggest story is the Wall of St. Paul himself, the rookie Jesper Wallstedt. A .938 save percentage and a 7.3 goal save above expected. The young Swedish rookie goaltender became the first goalie since 1938 to record 4 shutouts in a span of 6 games. This kid has been unbeatable at times. Now, what I want to focus on with him is his tracking and efficiency in the crease. Take this play right here. One of the hardest stops a goalie can make is when the puck is passed across the Royal Road or throughout the middle of the ice. He's in the RVH here, but he doesn't cheat the play. He still respects the shot, and as soon as this pass is made, look at him get right back to his feet and set it so that he's square to the puck. He's fortunate that the player isn't a right-handed shot to one-time the puck, but knowing the handedness of everyone on the ice is a requirement for tendies. It's good awareness. He stays calm, adjusts, and makes a grade A save. To me, his tracking is so impressive. He's been at the center of the turnaround this season for the Wild, and right now, they look like one of the deadliest teams in the West. Now, coming in at number 4, we got the Washington Capitals. After a slow start, Washington's proven that last season was not a fluke. They are currently on an 8-1-0 run where they're scoring a 4.63 goals per game. The Caps have 8 different players with 13 or more points, and Tom Wilson is leading the charge with 30 of his own. Let's look at Tom Wilson here, shall we? He's one of the names that is reportedly on the cusp of making Team Canada, and if he continues playing like this, he's pretty much a lock. Wilson is one of the game's greatest power forwards. He's also a really intelligent forechecker too. Of course, I'd imagine that the threat of getting some CT with Wilson barging in on you is enough to force a mistake, but he's great at giving both goalies and D a false sense of space, only to pounce all over it for a chance. Add in Logan Thompson, who has a .916 save percentage and is also on Team Canada's radar. The Caps have quickly become one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows though for Washington. They have a bottom 5 PK and power play in the league, but it does go to show you how good they are when 5-on-5. Ovi's still second on the team in points. He's on pace for another 40-goal season at 40 years old. What a sick puppy. The Caps are a wagon right now, and it's why they are the #1 team in the Metro. Now, coming in at number 3, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning. After a horrendous 1-4-2 start, the Lightning have taken the league by storm. I told you on last Power Rankings that the Lightnings were on wagon watch. The offense of the Lightning need no introduction. But what may be surprising is that Tampa has had really good depth scoring, as 8 players currently have 10-plus points. However, what makes this Lightning team especially scary right now is that they're doing this all without Braden Point, Victor Hedman, and Ryan McDonough. With all those guys missing, they've gone on a 15-3-1 run. One of the areas where Tampa is better than everyone else in the league is their PK, and it starts with how they deny entries. There's 2 popular structures for this. The 1-3, where you have 1 forward pressure while 3 players behind them form a wall on the blue line. When it works, players with possession either run into that wall or are forced to turn back. There's also the variation of that, which is the 3-1, where instead of 1 forward being up, 3 players stack against the blue line while the D skates back to be the first to the puck to retrieve a dump-in. Tampa uses both of these depending on their opponent and the situation, and it's really a testament to how well coached this team is and the players' abilities to read the play. Off a dump-in or a 50-50 puck, Tampa's really good at swarming stalled or awkward pucks on the wall to create a turnover. The Atlantic has been the wonkiest division in the league, but under John Cooper with this core, Tampa is a dangerous threat for me every single year. Now, coming in at number 2, we got the Dallas Stars. You know you're a damn good team when a slow start for you is considered 7-4-3. Not only have the Stars improved to go on a 10-1-1 run, they now sit with one of the best records in the NHL, and they've done so in a dominating fashion. At the center of all this is the RoboCop Jason Robertson, top 5, and he's also a big reason why the Stars' power play is unbelievable. Second in the league behind only to Pittsburgh. Robertson's unique toolkit gives Dallas the flexibility to put him anywhere. Hell, they even tried a 5-forward power play where they have Robertson as the QB to use his shooting threat. That's when he gets here with his elite vision to make a better play. Really, what makes the Stars power play so great too is that all 5 players can interchange in their positions. On any given power play, it is hard to find one guy in one particular spot. They always are shifting spots. Sometimes they got Johnston on the bumper. Other times they got Hintz there with Johnston on the right flank and Robertson down low. It's a mixed bag, and it drives killers nuts. If any team can be the kryptonite of the Colorado Avalanche, it could very well be the Dallas Stars. And speaking of the Colorado Avalanche, they come in at the #1 spot to no one's surprise. The Avs are just in another league right now. We've already done an in-depth breakdown on them that you can go check out, but just to summarize, they are pretty much leading in every single category. First in goals per game, first in goals against per game, first in expected goals. McKinnon is first in points, goals, all that stuff. Makar is first among D-men. Holy shit, they're first in everything. Wedgwood is putting up goaltending numbers among the best in the league, and even though he's currently hurt, there is not a single weakness to this team, at least as of right now. Even among top teams in past years, these Avalanche are different. They still only have 1 regulation loss up until this point in the season. That has only been done 3 other times in NHL history, and the only thing stopping them this year is themselves or Mikko Rantanen. So, who do you have in your rankings? Do you agree, disagree? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, we got weekly recaps every Sunday, as well as power rankings and team breakdowns like this one throughout the week. So, if you want to stay up to date and learn about all the things NHL, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a thing.